we're asked about, and I think we really benefit from getting an update and an understanding of how the business is looking. So I'd like to welcome both gentlemen to the stage. We have Hector Yescas, who is strategic project manager at Raloy Lubricants, and Zeferino Flores, who is project leader at the company. Now, I guess they're going to share.
Yes.
Grab a seat. Yeah, grab a seat. Share between them the presentation. Hector is the general manager for Blue Sky Def at Raloy. He's been the project leader since the startup of the first blending plant in Mexico, with 9 years experience in the Mexican market. And Zeferino is the project leader and has 14 years of experience. So they both involved in the business, I guess, and glad to have both of you on the stage.
Thank you
so
very
we look
much.
forward to getting an update on where Mexico is at, because for many of us, we have an information gap. So it's good to know where you stand. So thank you for joining us, and the floor's yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. So can we go for the video, please?
The great natural wealth of the country is a privilege for all Mexicans, but also a big commitment with future generations and with the whole planet. National policies for sustainable use are required to preserve and protect it. Raloy, as a leader company supplying solutions for the automotive industry, introduce Sky Blue.
So you are welcome to visit us in Mexico. It's not a touristic conference, it's more about why, when we decide to go for a dev solution, we know that it was really important that we take care of all of this. So first we discovered that it was friendly with the environment, and then we discovered that it was a good business, okay? So we are going to talk a little bit about what's our company and what are we doing with the product down there, and which are the challenges that we are having. Mainly, it's nothing new for you because I've seen in the presentations that the challenges that you have here are the same ones that we are having in Mexico. Probably we are late 10 years, something like that, but we are almost getting into the new technologies. So talking quick, fast about our company. We are a private family company. Our main business is about, we have 35 of experience in the Mexican market, mainly lubricants, and we are very, very strategic location with 3 different facilities. Our main production site is in very close to Mexico City, and we have where we produce lubricants and DEF, and then we have one more in Guadalajara, which is on the Pacific side, and one in the North Mexico. We decided to do this because we need to attend the market, so we are getting closer to the consumer where they are, to reduce cost, time to compete into the market. Our company is mainly a lubricant one. We are the 5th largest company in Mexico with different portfolio, with different solutions. And we were the first DEF producer in Mexico back 5 years ago with all the regulations. We want to exceed the customer satisfaction, and our passion is quality and service. So we are really very serious about it. We heard in the presentations these 2 days that challenges are there in terms of having the right product at the right price at the right cost. And we are very concerned about it and working to try to get the best quality product at the time. Our target, we are mainly OEM factory producer. Actually, 5 years ago, when it comes to the market, we are mainly factory field for the new technologies for European and American cars. So we start with them working together, getting the new specs that were coming to the market. And that's how we enter to this market. Now it's evolving very, very fast. Still, it's big fleets and a factory field what we are doing. Actually, the new Audi facility in Mexico, they are going to start producing passenger car. The new Q5, which is for export, it's going to be with DEF. It's starting production right now, and we are working with them with this new vehicle that is going to be for export. So that's pretty good that we are working with them. We're very committed with the environment, and we are in a new process to achieve an ISO 14000 certification. We introduced it back in 2011, the first DEF produced in Mexico with the partners that we were having from Germany. So this is what the company is, and we are going to switch to how it's the Mexican market doing. Okay.
Hey, I'm sorry if my language is not so good, my English, but and let me figure out. Okay, yeah. So we started with Sky Blue 5 years ago. We are importing all our raw materials. Urea automotive grade is not available in Mexico. We have different producers of urea there, but it's all agricultural. So we are importing all our raw materials, and to accomplish that with the ISO 22241. And we have, as Zeferino told us, we have a very strict quality control. That's something that we care a lot, the quality and also the service, but both of them are very, very important for us. And we are getting a new certification for the TS. Well, we are certified as TS, and we are getting now a new certification for environmental aspects. And we do all testings. We cannot test every batch, but we test every batch of our raw materials, and we also test every, I don't know, maybe 100,000 liters. and we test in other laboratory that is in outside Mexico, because there are no labs in Mexico with these methods to evaluate or test the sky blue or this solution, the DEF. So our market share is around 58%. This is changing so fast, and the other players are like 42%. There is Terra there with Alveg, CF Industries. I think they work with Alveg as a representative, exclusive representative in Mexico, and more producers of lubricants. They are coming also with the solution. They are starting to produce, and they are starting to bring it to Mexico. It's Bardal and BASF also. Mexicana de Lubricantes is another lubricants company, and PIC also. They are, I think, All World Industries is also going into Mexico with some facilities, and Roche France, Yara, and mainly the OEMs aftermarkets. That's how the market is compound. The Mexican market is the vehicle registration that we have is 93,000 buses and 771. These are 1,000 millions, I think. No, it's 1,000. Yeah, 771,000 units of trucks. The passenger cars are like 24.8 million, but they are not DEF users, of course. They are mostly gasoline engines. So from this park, from this vehicle registration, we are only having now the SCR only in buses, and that represents only the 1% of the whole registration of vehicles. So it's very, very little right now. That represents the buses represent the 11%, and trucks represent the other 88%, and just the 1% is for SCR vehicles. And well, it's a little market yet. This is our projection of growth for the units. In the light green, you can see the vehicles with SCR, and the darker green, or let me see, this one, it's for new vehicles with SCR systems. So we are projecting that in 2020 we can have 120,000 vehicles using SCR. The DF potential market is this one, and these are calculations that we make, but I think maybe accurate. So the Mexican futures or challenges are also that we have a delayed emission regulation versus other countries. We have a concentrated market also, mostly OEMs and big fleets. And we have the cost and availability of the DEF is very important, so logistics become a very good challenge. And lack of knowledge, also we are educating to our customers, because they don't know what DEF is, and for them it's a cost, a new cost that they have to pay in their units. So that's a challenge, and also the absence of institutions that supervise and guarantee the optimal DEF conditions. As I told you, there are no labs evaluating this, so you can find solutions with agricultural urea or bypassing the SCRs and well, let's see each point. So this is a map of how is Latin America and how compared with other countries, and Mexico is here. So we are now with EPA 04 and Euro 4. So we think that in 2018, 2019, maybe we are going to be in EPA 2010 and Euro 6. We are not going to Euro 5. So this is why the regulation is very delayed compared with other countries. This is mostly because of the diesel availability, because we don't have ultra low sulfur diesel. We have 500 parts per million diesels, and as you know, or maybe you know, it's like that Pemex, it's a government company that controls all these operations for diesel and for fuels. So that's changing now, but they are not having capability to have the availability of the diesel. So that's where is delaying the regulation. So we're working also now with the NOM 044. It's equals to, right now it exists and it's equals to Euro 4. And we are changing it so we can have Euro 6 equivalent. What's the regulation status and what are the times that we see? Right now we did an NMX D233. This is Mexican regulation that is only to translate the ISO standard, the 22241 standard. So it can be included, and we can guarantee that all the producers are going to be accomplishing this standard. So we needed to translate it to Spanish, so we can include it in the regulation. And the next steps are that we need to incorporate this NMX to the NOM, and then it becomes obligatory. And that we think it's going to happen on the fourth quarter of this year. Next year, there are being some discussions about if everything's okay with the regulation. This regulation is big. It regulates also fuels, and it's the environmental standard, I think, or the environmental regulation for Mexico. So we think in 2017 we're going to have it ready, and we think this is wrong. We changed it, but we think that in 2019 we are going to have ready and active the NOM, the regulation. So it will start until that to explore the market until we think that in 2019. I'm going to be faster. A concentrated market is because we are mainly with OEMs, and OEMs aftermarket, vehicles belonging to big passenger fleets, and owner-operators and independent fleets, small fleets, they are not using DEF yet. As we told you, we have 3 different locations in Mexico. We are planning to open 2 more, one in the southeast, and one in the northwest of Mexico. And this is very relevant because we have to be close to our customers, and logistics costs are very expensive. So we are getting closer to our customers. This is our plant in Guadalajara. This picture is our plant in Guadalajara. Well, we are educating the consumer. I think that's a challenge that I have heard that everyone has. And we are doing some POP material. We are training. We have a very trained, equipped a team and we work with them, so they can be constantly educating our customers. We are in trade shows, and technical assistance is very important also for us. We are a big company, and we have the experience with lubricants, so now we are taking this experience to the DEF. What we educate on is the best practices to provide the approved equipment, to the product disposal assessment, clean storage conditions, quick troubleshooting guides, and also we educate on the practices to avoid, like using your agricultural urea or using a product that doesn't have the optimal concentration. We ask them not to dilute the product, and use not allowed materials like iron, copper, zinc, and just use the ones that are recommended by the ISO standard. And yeah, this is happening. They disconnect the SCRs or they bypass the SCRs. So we are like educating why not to do this, and it's a matter of cost also, and we have to show them that they can have profitability with even using the DEF and new technologies. And well, we don't have labs right now in Mexico that are evaluating. We are thinking to have our own lab, and we are now the main producers, and we were the first producers there. So we are trying to be also pioneers, yeah, in this to evaluate all the that everyone has competitive products, and maybe work with the government so we can ensure this quality or make some certifications. So our conclusions is that biodiversity in Mexico must be conserved and protected. Regulation is delayed compared with other countries, as we saw, and it can be an attractive market in 2-3 years more when regulations come. To attend Mexican market is required specific knowledge about cultural and economical futures because of all our customers and the practices that they have. Delivered expected service level requires a solid distribution structure. That I think that's our main advantage or our main strength, to have the distribution around all the country. And yeah, we have to take care of environment, but also profitability for our customers. So yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hector. Thank you, Zeferino. So very interesting to see how the market's developing. So very useful for us to see. I'll start with a question, then maybe we have one or two from the audience. You mentioned that the current DEF consumption is from some buses in Mexico. Do you have many customers which are driving trucks which are sold from the US, second-hand trucks using DEF, or trucks driving across the border? Is this using much DEF consumption in your experience in Mexico?
We have not found that. What we see is that maybe in the border, at the border, they have some consumption, and they are little producers or little distributors there where they can get the DEF. Well, mostly they go from USA to Mexico. They go with their container, and they have it in the truck. So they are not having a demand of DEF in Mexico yet. We have not seen that.
But there's a small market of passenger moving people that it's going from. There's a lot of Mexicans coming to to US. So to comply the regulations here, they must have a SCR system. So from different cities, they are bringing the people here. So those are the ones that are using that, but not sending all trucks to Mexico. No, we didn't found like a big time, you know.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Any questions from the audience? Any questions about Mexico? Final question from me, Hector. What about the quality? Do you see some companies which are selling poor quality products, or is it still too early? The market is quite small.
Yeah, we have found some of little companies that they are doing this with agricultural urea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess because sometimes you go with a customer, I mean, for 1 or 2 cents, he's buying 1 or 2 cents less. He changed your product, and they are buying just something that they found in the street, and it's agricultural urea with no deionized water and very poor conditions. Yeah.
So this is something to keep fighting.
Yeah. It's through education, and we have the advantage that our customers are very concentrated, so we can talk like corporate offices and tell them that their distributors are doing that kind of practices. So it goes very direct from the top of the company to the distributor, and we can avoid sometimes that practices. But yeah, it's happening.
Right, it's still a risk.
Yeah,
I think we face it everywhere. Final chance for a question for either speakers today. No, in that case, to both of you, thank you very much for sharing the update.
Thank you very much.
So we have a chance to break now for lunch. After the break, we have a very interesting paper from Cummins on non-road. What's happening in the afternoon is the 2 tracks are joining. So we have the non-road audience currently in the other room joining us. So we'll have a bigger. We'll be looking at off-highway issues for DEF, including a paper from Cummins, some technology, and then looking at the DEF supply for off-highway equipment. See you then. We're at